Hi, this is Shadi, and today I want to discuss Taiho Jutsu, or the art of arrest used mainly by the Japanese police. I've talked about the army in the past, and I've used the Toshu Kakuto here, this footage you are seeing here in front of you. But today I want to go mainly about the arrest and the police. So it was mainly developed throughout the 1940s of a mix of Aikido, Judo, Karate. This is the main one, and some Kendo. So you're gonna see a lot of mixture of them. So around the same time that Goshin Jutsu, which is a decade later, was developed, which is a complete contrast from old samurai techniques. So let's look at some modern stuff. So here they are going into the space where are looking for the arrest or the suspect, and here you see they are making a tail. The extremities are using the shield, and here they found the assailant or the potential criminal, and here there's a lot of negotiation happening, and you see the flailing of the knife, and obviously they're gonna have to keep their guard up. Now obviously this is not the stuff that we civilians will train, because you see here the shield, but also look at the technique. So they're basically isolating the limb with the shield and also crushing the face, because it becomes very hard to move once your face is pinned down to the side, like katagatame for example. And here they are using the first basic technique of Aikido, which is we call it Ikkyo, which is number 1. And it is a great technique for arrest once you get the hand of it. So here you see you push down either the elbow or the lower part of the tricep, and you help them down and belly down, which is great for the arrest. Now here you can easily do it very fast, but obviously doing it in a very static manner will obviously be ineffective. So live drilling against resisting opponent or fast attacks will not only train your reflexes, but also will make you very efficient at this technique. So here you see the first thing is an Aikido technique, which is the first technique you will learn in Aikido. Now let's take a look at a second scenario where they are against another armed suspect, but this time they pull out a gun. So here you see there's negotiation happening. You see them talking, exchanging words. He's being a little bit violent verbally, and decides to pull out his gun and points at him. Now obviously here he's a menace, and he needs to be rendered, how do you say, harmless or neutralized. So you see here the way he was posturing, that they shot him in a non-vital point because they don't want to kill him, they want to arrest him. And here the arrest happens, stepping on the calf muscle so they don't get up easily, and thus the arrest happened. Now let's go to Hosokawa 7th Dan, old school Taiho Jutsu. You see here this is very similar to Kendo with the short and the long sword. A good friend of mine and a Filipino martial arts instructor told me that when both of you have arms, whether you have a stick like the police baton, here you see they did like a teigatame finish, one to let go of the weapon. It's a great one to do. So he told me that if both of you have weapons, basically you're dueling, your first objective should be not to stab or like, how do you say, strike if you have the baton in your hand, but rather strike the arm that is holding the weapon, and then proceed to do whatever you want to do. Like as you see here, he struck the hand and thus proceeded to grapple. Here you see striking the wrist. This is very much Kendo based, and also dueling. We see where striking the hand that's holding the weapon is very crucial. One of the main targets of Kendo is actually the wrist, and you score an ippon for it. I'm sure dueling, they like, whether it is like a French poignard or any other type of blades, their main objective is to strike the hand that's holding the weapon, and thus proceeding to do whatever you want to do, is striking, grappling, and then arrest. So here you see they are also very classical kotegeshi. You see from Aikido and old Jiu-Jitsu, which is the wrist twist. Here you see the wrist lock that I've shown in the past with the Renko Howaza, or the arresting techniques. Here you see this is a very cool wrist lock in my opinion, and here you bend the finger to really put more pressure. Here also very classical stuff where you intercept, strike, but again, if you study these only statically, you're most likely not going to be very efficient. Now look at these gun defenses, they look pretty solid in my opinion, and they look very cool. I'm sure everyone who's interested in self-defense, they want to learn like very quick gun disarm. Again, they can be very dangerous, you can get shot, but like you see the speed which he did it. Obviously it took a lot of practice, and again, it should be practiced, you know, regularly and against someone that's resisting, to the point where you take them completely by surprise. This is a classical kotegeshi, but you see the two before that were done were actually very impressive, and they can work again if practiced relentlessly. This one can be very dangerous because you can get shot in the face if you don't point the gun away from you or you keep your face away. So I want to talk about Atemi. Atemi, this is, by the way, Shoji Nishio, who was a karateka and also judoka, and then went and trained Aikido. And I'll probably do a separate video on him, especially because I really admire him. But he said that he basically said all the stuff that we always say, you know, Aikido is moving away from the martial aspect. He also talks about the importance of Atemi because they're a very vital point for your grappling and for your judo. And you know, he even said that, you know, we should learn true kendo, true judo when he was talking about the stuff. So basically talking about not sports stuff. So if we can use the Atemi correctly and against someone and becoming really used to it, it could be a great portal to your grappling and also great for self-defense. You know, you need to be desensitized against strikes, not flinching, and, you know, having zero reflex to them at all. And also, I've talked about the Atemi in old school judo. I will link it at the end, where you have very vital points that you need to strike. Again, it's not a boxing match. You should not engage with a boxer. You should not engage in these long striking sequences. It should be just enough as an opening for your grappling. As you see here, you intercept, you block, you move away from the attack, you strike, and then you proceed to grapple. This is the sequence, in my opinion. You block it, or you let it move past you, you strike, and you grapple. Obviously, there are multiple range, you know, someone from far away, as you see here, and also someone that's right in your face. Again, Atemi is crucial, and Taiho Jutsu style training should be in every judo school, in my opinion. This is just me ranting, but I'm gonna say this. I think judo schools should be all in one, in my opinion. You have your competition, which is the stuff that we do. We should all do randori, you know, grappling, stand up, and newaza. But also, you know, some people, maybe they're middle-aged, maybe they're in for the self-defense, and they should train self-defense oriented judo classes throughout the week, not just randori. And they do stuff like Taiho Jutsu, disarming, and here get very much used to Atemi and also kata like training. And of course, if you have great potential, etc., go train for your competition. You're welcome to do that. But I think we should have the option to have really good self-defense programs in every school, not just once a week and we do it haphazardly just because we want to say, you know, we attended the class. Because this is very important in my opinion. So this is mainly it. If you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. Your support will be greatly appreciated, and also it will keep this work going. Also, do not forget to check out the links below for Josh Simon's shop and articles. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.